If you're like most people, you wish that you had more money. Maybe you wish that you had more money so that you could go on more vacations or go out to eat more often or buy certain things or whatever it is. Sometimes we just get in our heads that if I just had more money, my life would be better. The problem with this mentality, however, is that even when you reach that milestone of having more money, whatever that figure is for you, you find that that amount of money either doesn't get you, or the things that you thought you wanted really weren't good enough, or you get all those things and you like having all those things, but then you realize that you want even more things. It just seems like no matter what milestone you set in your head thinking, that's gonna be enough, or that kind of lifestyle is what I want. Once you get to that lifestyle, you think, oh, I need more. And this is very common no matter how much money you make. Some of the richest people in the world have been asked how much money is enough, and they've answered just $1 more. And in some ways they were kidding because they knew no amount of money would be enough. And they were simply pointing out that no matter how much we have, we always want more. There's two terms that we oftentimes associate with this. One, greed. We all recognize that greed is a bad thing. At least we say that greed is a bad thing. And yet so many of us fall into this temptation of being greedy. We want more. We think we need more. We think we deserve more. We want, we need. Gimme. All these kinds of things. And the reality is, if we would just be content with our current lifestyle, we would see that we usually have more than enough already. We don't have to be greedy. But number two, the second term that applies to this is lifestyle creep. There's nothing wrong with earning more money. There's nothing wrong with wanting a few extra conveniences in life and these kinds of things. But oftentimes, as we start earning these things, as we achieve these milestones, we add just a little bit more to our lifestyle or add a few more milestones that we want to achieve. It's so easy to get into this pattern of thinking we want certain things, but then once we get to those things, wanting even more. Greed and lifestyle creep. So how do we combat all that? Well, number one, like I already said, be content. Be content with what you have. That sounds super easy in theory, but when there's so many things that we think that we want and companies really encourage us to think that we need, it's really hard in the moment to say, no, I don't need that stuff. I've lived all of my life without that so far. I'm doing just fine. I don't need that in my life. If we can simply be content with what we have, we've made it. But also number two, how do we combat lifestyle creep? When you are earning a little bit more, which is perfectly okay to do, and when you are starting to get some of these things that you really worked hard to achieve, if you're going on some nice vacations or going out to eat more often or getting a few things that you really wanted to buy, how do we not allow ourselves to be greedy and think that we need even more than those things? Well, it's actually super simple. Just write them down and check them off. That's it. That's all you have to do. When we set firm goals for ourselves, not kind of wishful thinking type goals, but firm goals and say, this is what I want. This is what's going to make me happy. This is how much I want to spend on the things that I can enjoy. It becomes so much easier to say no to everything else. Now, that's not to say that if you have the disposable income, you can't buy other things. Of course not. But just as we did when we were on a smaller budget, having to say no to things we couldn't afford, maybe that means looking at our budget and saying, okay, I want this new thing that wasn't on my list before, but what can I look at my list and say, I don't really need that this month. Maybe I don't need to go out to eat quite as often this month so that I can afford this other thing that I do want. This is called budgeting 101, right? Making sure that we can actually afford the things that we want and need before we buy them. In today's world with credit cards and financing and loans and all these things, it's really easy to rationalize, I can have whatever I want and I have the means to get it. My credit score is high enough that I can buy whatever I want. But that kind of mentality is just going to lead to the exact same position where we came from originally. It's going to drive us further into debt. It's going to deplete our income and deplete our resources. We need to have the maturity enough, the mature mindset to say no to the things I don't really need, or maybe wait to the things that I can get later, or at least putting myself on a budget to say, yes, I can get these things if I decrease my spending in these other areas. When it comes down to it, no matter how much money you have, money is a limited resource. It's not unlimited, it doesn't grow on trees, and we should all have that mindset to say, money is not going to fix all of my problems. More stuff, more vacations, eating out more often, that's not really what's going to make me happy. When it comes down to it, being content with what you have. Be wise, be smart with your money, make a plan and stick to it. Hey, if I can do it, you can do it too. I'm just an average guy.